Welcome to our video put on by the Center for Interprofessional Education and Practice, some of our members of our team. We'll be covering details about the Impact Practice Center, simulation, and simulated participant program, and how those programs operate and how you can work best with the teams to support your learning activities. I'd like to introduce some of the members of the team. I'm Rachel Pittman, Assistant Dean of Interprofessional Practice. There's Jenny Lowe, who will introduce herself in just a bit. Eliana Palumbo and Tony Williams. So we're grateful that they are here to talk more about the programs that they run. You'll find in this video that we'll be talking about three separate sections, three separate topics, the first of which will be about the Impact Practice Center located at 2 Constitution Wharf. And Jenny will give an overview of how the rooms are reserved in that space and also how sessions are recorded. Well, the next section will be about simulation spaces and equipment, and the third will be about the simulated participant program. Please find whatever section you need to refresh or get details on. You don't have to watch this sequentially. You can fast forward to any part of the video that works well for you. So with that, I welcome our team to share the details. Thank you.
From the Impact Practice Center, IPC, located at 2 Constitutional Wharf, I'm Jenny Lowe. My name in the MGB email directory system is Ling Hui Lo, without the Jenny. And as the lead patient services coordinator, I work under the leadership of our director, Rachel Pittman, who has just introduced us. My works are also supervised by the Center of Interprofessional Education and Practice Operations Manager, Yolanda Mendez-Rainey. And we work as a system to provide you with the best support. Together with our teammate at the front desk, Patient Services Coordinator, Lindsay McCabe, our graduate assistants who we regard as part of our IPC staff and we train them for it. Any one of us might be at the front desk half an hour before the scheduled arrival of a client and up to when the last client leaves for the day. At IPC, there are free client service sessions run by the Audiology, Aphasia, Speech, Language, and Literacy Center, or the Nursing Center, Occupational Therapy Center, Physical Therapy Center, and they also work interprofessionally to provide beautiful, beautiful support to clients. We also host simulated participant sessions, or SP sessions, at IPC. Some of these are for practice, some of these are for exams, and there are also research participant visits. If you're involved in running any one or many of these, we know you have been busy. There's so much to prepare for, just the resources, the activities, and there's so much to look out for. And we know that when it comes to on-site event, having a room secured is very important to you. Hence, we want to share tips about room reservation at IPC. And if you want the session recorded, you want to share some tips too, so you get the best experience out of it. All right. With that said, I also want to mention, if you have any interest to inquire about some services, or you want to collaborate, or you have feedback about, hey, something that went really well, keep it out, or you have some ideas about what to improve on, the best place to reach us is the IPC email. Yes, the IPC at mghihp.edu. That email is the place to reach us as a team, as a system. That way we provide you with the best support. Even when you write to us individually, any one of us at IPC, we do also encourage you to CC that IPC email. That way, as a team, we can provide one another support and backup. All right. Now, with that said, what do you need to know about room reservation? There are 4 milestones we want to introduce to you. The first one is whether you're booking for a future semester, and then, or is it for a current semester? And what happens at least 30 days to the event? What happens when it's less than 30 days to the event? So first question, you want to book a room. Is it for a future semester or is it this semester? If it's future semester, the process starts as early as 6 months beforehand. So for example, for summer 2024 semester, which is in May 2024, the process starts as early as November 2023, whereby the Office of Registrar, Anna Cottrell, would email a room reservation template in Excel format. In fact, she will email 2 of them in one email. She would send this to the designated program coordinator for each program. Find out who that is for your program, or if you have a question about that, drop an email to Anna Cottrell to double check, or we can help you out as well. What's important? The designated program coordinator's responsibility is to gather all the semester room requests in the program. Any members of the program who need academic spaces or IPC spaces, that needs to be gathered, placed into the template, and submitted on time to the Office of Registrar and CC to IPC by the due date, which is usually about a month after the template is sent out. So 6 months ahead, you have about a month to gather all that, and from all the members, have it sent in. And 5 and 4 months to the start of the semester, the Office of Registrar would be working on tons of all these room requests. Sometimes, people have overlapping requests from different centers. So all these are being worked out. And that's for academic sessions that takes place at Building 36, including the Sim Lab, or 2CW, including the room 106, 217, PT Lab. They work all of that out, and that's for credit generating academic sessions. IPC sessions, which means the client sessions, research participant sessions, SP sessions taking place at IPC level 1, rooms 111 to 148. Those are the 2CW level 1 rooms behind the glass doors. All right, those will go into the IPC form, and I will work on them. The system will be open for IPC sessions input 3 months to the start of the semester. We have tried enter it before 3 months. It caused so much overlaps with what the Office of Registrar was also booking. It became confusing. Many sessions get bumped off. So it's not efficient. It's not, it's not the best arrangement. So at the advice of campus services as well as Office of Registrar, this is the established structure. They would like everyone to observe and respect it. Now, 6 months to it, they'll send out the template, send in by the due date. They'll work on it for 2 months, after which the system will be open for IPC to input the IPC sessions. So when can you hear back on room confirmations? 3 months before the start of the semester, you will hear back about academic sessions confirmation. 2 months before the start of the semester, you hear back about IPC client research SP sessions confirmation. All right, what happens during that time, I can share with you about what happens at IPC. All those requests in Excel sheet get transferred into the booking system. Here are some screenshots. We need all the details in order to allocate correctly. So please input all the details completely. And thank you so much for being responsive. If we come back to you with questions about flexibility or in terms of room type or timing or dates, because as you can see at the bottom left here, a typical day between 8 a.m. to 5 or sometimes 6 p.m., rooms get really filled up, and we do want to have everybody's needs addressed. So we might come back to you for these details to secure your room or the rooms of another faculty member before or after yours. And if there is room setups and other stuff, we also want to make sure there's enough time for that in between. So all these considerations take place. You get the idea. All right. But the most important thing here is if it's for a future semester, then it goes through the designated program coordinator. It needs to be all gathered and submitted. And you will hear back 3 months before the semester about academic confirmation, and you'll hear back 2 months before the semester about IPC sessions, meaning the client research participant and SP sessions at 2CW. All right. Now, what if you are booking a room for the current semester? That would be more straightforward, right? For example, hey, do you have a room today or tomorrow or 3 weeks from now? Good news is, usually about a month before the start of the semester, up to the end of that particular semester, you can help yourself to book a room via MGH IHP website. This is a great option because it gives you access, direct access about room information, whether a room has a patient exam bed, does it have a TV screen, monitor screen, does it have enough capacity for 3 person or 5 person or 10? You find all those information. It will also give you real-time availability, and this is super helpful for those planning. Is it this date or that date? What are options? You can find all the answers there. Is very empowering. Now, where do we find it? Again, this is about a month before the start of a semester, not any sooner than that, because before then, remember, Office of Registrar, IPC, there's a lot of stuff happening in the back end. It cannot open it, but 1 month before the start of a semester to the end of that semester, if you're within that time frame, go online. You can Google MGH IHP, and then at the website, at the top right, there is a For You button, under which there is staff and faculty. And if you select that, it will lead you to EMS room reservation. And on the top right of that, where it says welcome guests, you want to click on that and sign in using your MGB credentials. Once you're in, if you click on reserve or create a reservation, you'll see a few categories. IPC category would refer to rooms 111 to 147. That is 2CW level 1 rooms behind the glass door where all these client sessions, SP sessions take place. All right. Whereas SimLab would refer to Building 36 SimLabs, which Ellie will talk about. Academic spaces. This is where you find most rooms on the campus, including 2CW room 106 and 2CW level 2 functional living lab, room 217, or level 2 physical therapy lab. All those fall under the academic space category when you're making self-service booking. All right, so if you look around there, you see immediate availability, book right there, and you will get a confirmation within 3 days. Often it's way less than 3 days, but the reason we mention 3 days is there have been times when we receive the request and we need to verify a few things, either because it's cutting too close to another session before and after, or it looks like, wait, this room might be too small for the capacity that you intended it for. So sometimes, very, very rarely though, it does take a couple of days to and fro before it can be confirmed. So to be safe, we say within 3 days, right? So here's a question. You know about future semester and when booking for current semester is available for you to go online with. Question number 1, it's now spring 2024. If you want to book a room for fall 2024, which is a future semester, how do you do that? Future semester, you're going to find out who the designated program coordinator is for your program. If not, you can approach Anna Cottrell, IPC, to find out. And from there, all the requests for your program needs to be submitted to that person. And then it will go on from there, according to what we've discussed here. Scenario number 2. It's now March 2024. We are still in the spring semester. If you want to book a room for an event that is taking place in May 2024, which is summer semester, it's just the next semester. It's like a couple of months away. How do you do that? Right? Number 1, it's now March and you're booking for May. So this is too late to make semester booking for a future semester because that process is already done for. And March is just towards the end of the spring semester, the room booking system on MGH IHP website is going to open in April before the start of summer semester in May. So just wait a couple of weeks. When the system opens, you'll be able to go in there, see all the availability, make a booking. Hope that answers the question. Of course, this last one, bonus question. If you want to know if there's a room today, where do you go? The website. All right. And once you submit a request on the website, it does not mean the room is confirmed yet. Usually you wait for the confirmation email, and that will come within 3 days. All right. But once you have the room blocked, it means no one else can block it. So it's pretty safe to say if it's available, book it right there and then, and it's pretty secure. Okay. Moving on to the next big thing, and we're going to go quicker with that. At least 30 days to the event, at least. All right. That's the best chance for you to secure full support. Our aim is so that the support that you need will be there on time, completely and accurately. Too close to the date, sometimes all these things become not so ideal. So at least 30 days to the event. That's the time you can request for SPs, which Tony will talk about, or request for SimLab, which Ellie will talk about, or a special room setup at IPC, or recording. What does that mean? Now, in IPC, the standard format of the room is as it is. Combo rooms that has A or B behind its name. If you book both A and B, you can open the divider yourself to double the room size, but make sure you close it back after for the next faculty. If you want special room setup, in this case, reorientate the room so the patient exam bed has maneuver space on the left and right, it has drape on it. That's for patient exam SP sessions. Then we do need to know beforehand why at least 30 days to the event. So often, the time available, if you look at the bottom left corner, time available between sessions is pretty short. And sometimes we do need to set up those rooms within half an hour, so maybe 7 rooms within half an hour during lunchtime or during time when there's 14 clients checking in at the front. So we want to make sure we hear from you beforehand, and that way we can schedule the right manpower resources at the right time to be there and get it done so that you can focus on the important thing, that is your client, your learners, your research participants. All right. And another thing is, if you want to record this session, we do need you to submit a recording schedule that would have the right date, that the actual room that's already been confirmed, and the start time of the recording, end time of the recording, and that's for each of the sessions taking place, the learner's full name, as well as all the evaluator or faculty members' full name. We need full names, not just first or last names, because a lot of people share the same name. We want to make sure we have the correct ones in the system. Even better if you include an email list of all these people so we can double check, because sometimes people do change names, but the email would give us an indication. All right. Now, why do we want all these? Of course, you can go to the faculty observation room if you're on site and just click on the record button and then click stop when you want it. That's for individual stop and start manually on site. But then at IPC, typically in a day, it could be about 30 recording sessions taking place, often about up to 12 or 14 rooms at a time, and 3-4 hours back to back at least. So it's going to be difficult for that one person to click on all these and not miss anything. And we want to make sure we capture everything for you. Hence, submit it beforehand. All these will be set up in the system beforehand. When the time comes, it automatically records. It already automatically has been set to be tagged to the right learners, and it will automatically process that way so that things are streamlined for you. All right. What happens if it's less than 30 days to the event? there is reduced availability for full support. Remember, we want to make sure everything's there on time, complete and accurate for you. So if it's less than 30 days to the event, please reach out immediately. Yeah. You might think that, well, this part of it should be easy for you to do, but there could be other events or other tasks taking place around that period. So if you could let us know early, then it will help us help you better. And we want to give you the full support. All right. We've talked about future semester, current semester, and how many days to the event is the best time to contact any of these resources. Let us know about the resources you need. At least 30 days. Okay, you get it. Last one. Quick tips about recording sessions. We talked about providing a recording schedule. This is what it would look like, right? And if you want a template in the Linktree link that Ellie and Tony will also talk about later, there is a template for SimIQ recording schedule. And remember, we absolutely need the room name, confirmed room name, the start and end time for each session, and each learner's full name, as well as each evaluator or faculty member's full names. Attach a list of the emails as well. The system do need all these essential information in order to complete the process. On the actual day, quick tips. We know it's difficult, but if you can keep within the schedule, what does that mean? If you have submitted a schedule that says the session with Bailey will start at 9 a.m. and end at 9:30, the SimIQ camera is not going to make an announcement at 9 o'clock. It will just automatically start recording at 9 and stop recording at 9:30. If you keep within the schedule that you've provided, then you have the best chance of having a complete session captured in this recording. No less, no more. All right. Of course, we know it's difficult, but we want you to be aware of this, right? And speaking of complete, and often a question is, how soon after the sessions complete can the students and evaluators go into SimIQ and find this video? The best answer is, the safest answer is at least 1 working day after the last session completes. At least 1 working day after the session completes. So if this session is taking place up to 4 p.m. on a Tuesday, then the best time is Thursday, right? Something good to know is that the system will start encoding the video within 5 minutes or a couple of hours after a session completes. But then if you have multiple faculty members to be tagged, and that can only be done after the session has complete recording and all that. So we just need a little bit of time for all that turnaround. So 1 day, 1 working day, give it 1 working day gap in between. We've covered quite a bit. You might have questions and you might have feedback. We welcome to hear from you at ipc@mghihp.edu. And as a recap, we talked about booking rooms for future semester, important things to know, and where you can go to get immediate results if it's for current semester, and why the 30-day is important to keep in mind, not just for now, but throughout the semester, not just for IPC, but also for SimLab and SP programs, all right? And then if there is recording, remember, recording schedule. There are some essential information that we'll need in order to help you. If you have a question about front desk check-in, we do have an Outlook calendar sharing system. You can write in and discuss that. And we do collect data on the clients that we see so we can understand better what the needs are and what's being offered. And all these are also falling under the umbrella of the Center of Interprofessional Education and Practice. So with that said, We wish you very, very fulfilling sessions, and the same to your learners as well. And with these tips about IPC done, we're now going to move on to talk about SimLab, and you'll hear from our close working partner, Ellie.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eliana Palumbo, or Ellie, and I am the new Simulation Operations Specialist here at the IHP. I work in Building 36 on the first floor in the Simulation Lab, and I'm here to talk to you about our Simulation and Skills Lab in terms of what we have to offer and how to request our services. So first, I will start with a tour of our simulation spaces, and that starts in the wet lab in room 108. And this holds table space for 36 students, and it has a scrub sink and a fridge, but don't put your lunch in there. It is great for suturing practice, IV A-line practice, ultrasound IVs, microscopy, anything that can happen on a tabletop. Next is the acute care skills lab. This is room 113, and this holds 10 beds, 2 isolation rooms, 1 ceiling lift in an isolation room, and it is filled with low fidelity mannequins. And this space is great for taking vital signs, practicing physical assessments, medication administration, urinary catheterization, lots of great skills going on. And then is our simulation lab, and this is room 118 to room 121. And all of our simulation rooms have a hospital bed, a head wall component, a one-way mirror, and their own control room for faculty to sit in. And this is room 118, and this is used mainly for our birthing mannequin, Victoria, and any sims that have to do with her or her new baby. And so she has taken on a lot of damage from actually removing her from the bed. We are working on purchasing a stretcher that SPs can lay in, and Victoria will remain in her bed and be pushed against the wall so that an SP can use this room. And then next is our room 119, and this holds a SimMan 3G mannequin. This mannequin can be removed for an empty bed and for an SP, and the bed can be pushed against the wall to place a crib inside with any of our high fidelity babies. And this SimMan does have male genitalia, but we can switch that out for female genitalia, and we can use some wigs if desired. Next is room 120, and this is very similar to 119, holds another SimMan 3G, but this room has a ceiling lift. And then lastly is room 121. This is our pediatric room. This holds our Sim Junior mannequin, and we do have 2. We have 1 light skin and then 1 dark skin mannequin, but they can be removed for an empty bed for SPs as well. Then upstairs is our health assessment lab. This is room 310, and this holds 4 patient exam beds and chairs. It has a skeletal model, an organ model, and a full-size scale. And this space is great for taking vital signs, practicing physical assessments again, SP work, and really focusing on some communication. Then downstairs again is our debriefing rooms. These are room 105 to 107, and these have a computer with three screens, and it's really perfect for debriefing or even pre-briefing, as it's a sim best practice to debrief outside of your simulation room. And this is a perfect spot very close to our sim rooms. You may also live stream here using our AV viewer software so that non-participating students can observe in real time. And so before your simulation, how are you going to let us know what supplies or mannequins, equipment, anything, how are you going to let us know what you need? You're going to go to our link tree, which is linked at the end of this presentation, and you're going to fill out our simulation and skills lab request form. And so the things that we need to know are faculty and course information, location, what high fidelity simulators will you be using, task trainers, and any supplies or equipment that we will prepare for you. Other need to know, so will you need some tech support running the mannequins, or do you have experience running them? Will you need the sessions to be recorded when we can schedule pre-schedule a recording for that? And will you need empty beds? We definitely need to know this information because all of our high fidelity mannequins are in their beds at baseline. So we will need to know. And then when should you be placing this request? 30 days before your first sim encounter, more if you can. And why? So that we can order those materials that you need if in case we are out of stock. We can ensure the functionality of your equipment, especially the task trainers, and we'll need time to train our simulated participants. So just a reminder, 30 days before, please. And then just to let you know what's going on behind the scenes, so I will be printing out those form stacks with my GAs. We'll be going around gathering your equipment, your task trainers, and we'll place them in the room for you. For smaller things like medications, syringes, things like that, those will be in the simulation lab, and these will be labeled with your course information and for you to pick up in the simulation lab in room 117 that hallway. And so after your simulation, we do ask that you clean to the best of your ability. We do not expect you to scrub the place down, but please clean up as much as you can. Return moved furniture, return your bins to the rack, throw away trash. These rooms are used so frequently that I can't possibly turn them over after each use. So we really ask that faculty tidies up and return spaces to how you found them. And then lastly, if you have any changes of plans, please email Anna Cottrell to release any room reservations. If you have rooms that you have reserved and you know you will not need, please email Anna as soon as you're aware of those cancellations. We have a lot of reservations go unused, and we really want to minimize that in the future. So please email her to cancel them so that everyone has access to the space. All right, and that's all for simulation. Please email the simulation email or mine, my personal email, if you have any questions. And we look forward to working with you again or new. Thank you. Bye.
Hello, my name is Tony Williams. I'm the Simulated Participant Program Manager here at the IHP. And I'm going to talk with you a little bit about requesting simulated participants. So how the request process takes place and what to expect. So requesting SPs is a 4-phase process. The first phase is the actual request of the SP. The second phase is preparing your SPs. Phase 3 is what takes place on the day of the simulation. And then phase 4 is the post-simulation process. So let's talk about that first phase, phase 1, requesting SPs. SPs can be requested using our simulated participant request form. It's a digital or virtual electronic form that is available either on our Linktree application. It's available on the intranet, or you can reach out to me directly and I can provide you with a link to complete that form. It is important that we receive that form before we can place SPs on or your event on the SP calendar, because there are several key bits of information that we'll need from you. So the first is the actual day and time of the simulation. We'll also need, if available, a simulation session schedule. So typically this will outline for us the start time, the time for each encounter, usually student names or which students are going to be assigned and how much time each student will have during the encounter, and then the anticipated end time. And again, this provides us an opportunity to be able to answer any questions SPs may have regarding their exact time for their assignment. Additionally, we'll also need the location, whether it will be at the IPC, whether it will be at 36, or any other location on or off campus. Another bit of information that we will need will be the number of SPs that you anticipate you will need for the simulation. Please keep in mind that we typically schedule at least one backup SP. So this will be an individual who will typically stay on site during the duration of the simulation. In the event that another SP is running late, something unfortunate or unforeseen comes up and that SP has to leave, and we just need someone to fill in to continue to keep the simulation activity going forward. We also do our best to try to honor your SP profile request. So you'll notice that on the form, You will be asked for specific demographic information from the SP. That could be their age range, could be their gender, could be their race or body type. Again, we do our best to try to accommodate that. However, it's not always possible. And so for that, we will reach out to you and notify you if we're having any challenges in that respect. And then if so, what are some of the options that we could be presented with to continue to move forward, alternatives. We also make ourselves available for consultation in this sort of early planning phase. So we'll meet with you a few weeks or however much time before the simulation and before SPs begin we begin to recruit SPs to discuss learning objectives, what the expectations are for the sim, the desired outcomes, and if SPs will be asked to provide any feedback, whether it be written or verbal. So that's the first phase of requesting SPs. The second phase is preparing SPs. So typically we like to have an SP document, something tangible that SPs can read and study to help them prepare for their role. And we do have a template that's available, and it's actually encouraged to use that you, as the faculty or the planning staff, can complete and fill out. That will help us to prepare the SPs for the simulation. Additionally, we can provide training for our SPs, and we like to have our faculty involved in the training as much as possible, because who knows your simulation and your learners better than you do. So we have several options. We can do an in-person training with SPs arriving to the IHP or another common location. Typically, the challenges with that are that you're trying to coordinate schedules. But if that's not possible, we can do video conferencing, which tends to be a little bit more of an effective way of SP training. SPs can be at various remote locations, tuned in through their video conferencing platform, whether it be Teams or Zoom or some other platform, and we can again work together in real time to prepare SPs for the case, to discuss the case content, what the expectations are, answer any questions that are related to the case, as well as rehearsal if we deem that necessary. And then there's also the preparing a training video. So we work with faculty to prepare a training video for SPs that could be viewed at the convenience of the SP. Some of the formats of the video could be just a recorded lecture or instructional video. It could be a sample of what the encounter will look like, with perhaps the faculty acting in the student role and another SP or another faculty member acting in the SP role. So again, these are some options available, and we can discuss how at length how we could prepare that and best prepare our SPs for the simulation. And then we also like to discuss some of the special concerns that could arise during the simulation. Some of our cases are a little more complex than others. And because of that, we want to make sure that SPs are fully aware of what the expectation is for them, and if it adheres to the safety issues and guidelines that they've outlined for themselves. So some cases tend to have a triggering or an emotionally charged element to them. And so we want to make SPs aware of that prior to them committing to and signing up for these assignments. So speaking with faculty and consulting any of these potentially triggering elements to a case is important. The same goes for any physical demand that could be imposed on the SPs during their simulation. Repetitive or physically stressful types of simulations we want to make SPs aware of in case they're their physical makeup could prove a challenge for them participating in this activity. So again, as you can understand, safety is a top priority for our SPs, and so we want to make sure that we're adhering to that best practice. Phase 3 is what to expect on the day of the simulation. So SPs will typically arrive anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour prior to the first encounter. This just gives SPs time to get settled, to answer any additional questions that may arise, for faculty to discuss any updates, either about student circumstances, about the case, or about the event in whole. Additionally, we will use this time to assign SPs to their rooms. If they need to change their attire for whatever reason, maybe a hospital gown or attire that's appropriate for a physical exam, it gives us time to do that. And then during the live sim session, we have a chance to observe SP performance in real time, either in the observation room or in the video room. SPs are provided with feedback if adjustments need to be made in their portrayal, so as to maintain the fidelity and the integrity of the simulation. And then we can provide the SPs with immediate feedback as needed. SPs will also, if it's deemed an important part of the simulation or the learning experience for the students, SPs will also be providing either written or verbal feedback as discussed during the planning phase. And then phase 4 is the post-simulation events. So one thing that we will ask you to do from time to time is complete an SP-based simulation feedback survey. So this allows us to determine how the simulation was received from you as the faculty or the students, everything from the planning process to the SP portrayal and performance. Did it meet the needs that you were envisioning for this simulation? Were there any adjustments that you'd like us to make in the future? Any advice or recommendations that you'd like to see implemented? We can discuss that and will be provided during that time frame. That goes along with any planning, in-person planning that we could potentially discuss or work with for the next session. If this is something that we think will occur again in the future, what were the lessons that we learned? Are we adhering to best practices? It gives us an opportunity to really to discuss that during this process. Will you be presenting this the outcome or the process of this simulation at a conference or in some sort of scholarship work? If that's the case, we can discuss that as well. So thank you again for working with us and allowing us to work with you in providing these clinical skills learning experiences via simulation. On behalf of the IPC, Simulation, SP, we really do enjoy working with all of you. And we look forward to continuing to do that. We look forward to continuing to grow as a team and as a program. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Our program email addresses are indicated here. If you have our personal email addresses, you can reach out to us, and that means as well for access to any of those forms that we discussed. The Linktree simulation link is included here, as well as the QR code if you want to access it that way. So thank you again.